introduce it?
Now it's starting it up. So this is our continuance. Welcome back, guys, gals,
Gals.
of love and light.
Yes.
So from last week that we were speaking regarding the Dante's Inferno, Dante's Purgatory, as well as Paradise / Heaven, and how the chakras connect with it. We're together again here, Scarlet and Shiva. And
yes.
Sorry we didn't have a meeting last weekend. Things actually did not work out, but we did. We're doing it today. And we're just going to continue on with this discussion because it really helps, especially with this past week, that actually a lot of shifting is going on that we've been experiencing.
A lot of shit.
I know I've been actually, me and Scarlet, I don't know if you've been experiencing it, Shiva, but there's been a lot of shifting to the point where even we're interrupted in the middle of the night waking up about 3 to 4 in the morning. I know it's affecting me, yes. As well as Scarlet told me the same thing before we started, that we actually have been rapid sleep, a little bit of insomnia. I even had this morning.
Yeah, I've been like that. My every night's been that way. I haven't been, last night for the first night, I think, and maybe the night before that. Well, the night before that was a little different, but last night I did sleep all the way through.
It's only when I'm actually taking CBD, which I did before sleeping. I studied on it. I did look at the research on it from the manufacturer locally here in Florida. Explains that CBD will actually help with sleep. So I do a little bit of a double. I do like 2,000 milligrams, and it helps me to actually rest. So
yes, it does. Yeah. Yes, it does. Right. I've heard that too, and I believe I've tried it before, and I think it did.
Yeah.
But I have a what do you call those little bowls that you put?
Oh, you have one of the singing bowls?
No, not the singing bowl. The one you put your your oils in it, and it sends the freak. Yeah. And so I can put sleep.
You have an aromatic bowl, or what is it considered? What's it called? Do you know?
Yeah, I forgot what they call, but you can put the the oils in it, and then it sends up the steam.
Oh, an essential oil aromatic bowl.
Yeah, it's one of those. But
nice.
I put the oil in it, and it for calm or sleep. Whatever kind of that helps too.
It depends on the herbal oil extract. My sister told me about that, and that's actually extremely helpful on frequency, which I agree with you. Very effective. I have not. Wow, that's interesting because I use the same idea for the eucalyptus on the vaporizers.
Yeah, yes, the
eucalyptus
is really good.
That's good.
All of it is good. So, who wants to start in on this discussion right now so we can
see where we at? Us, so whoever wants to take it over this time.
Yes.
Let me do a little visual or keep it on the grid like it is now because I don't want to distract too much.
Yeah, so I did. The thing is with this study, with Chakras, and the study of Dante Inferno, which is hell.
Right.
They both are very extensive, long studies. Very, very. I mean, you can't just do them in like that.
No. This is going to go like we mentioned in the beginning in the first video 2 weeks ago. This is actually in segments.
Yes,
really good
right.
Explanation on it, Shiva, last weekend or 2 weekends ago regarding that everything is actually present. The Inferno / Hell, Paradise, as well as the Purgatory are all present at this time.
Yes. But the thing is, what I wanted to bring out here is that. What I'm doing when I come in and I give you what I have, I'm basically giving you like an view of
fundamental
outline, kind of like an outline and an over of the whole, because the person really need to do the research yourself, because research is something that is very extensive, long process. You can't just research and get the fullness of something like that. So when I'm giving you something, it's going to be just an overview of it, and I'm sort of like just kind of covering spots for you, because you will never get it unless you do it yourself. You really have to do your own research. And if you never do research, you'll never get anything pretty much. You'll just be where you're at. You'll never go anywhere, because research is like your whole life. It's like you. It's you researching yourself, basically, because you've been put in timelines after timelines with considering what happened to the humanity.
Right.
You've lost your whole history of who you are. And
Sure.
so in order to find out who you are, basically it's already inside of you. But if you cannot tap in to that information, you need to find the information, and then as you find it, then the information that's within you will line up with what you see, and then you go from there, and you line that up with other information that lines with that. So you got to connect all the dots. That's what's important.
It's
And
like a
that
jigsaw
takes
puzzle that I actually also found a video yesterday through the Arcturian group in Facebook. Phenomenal production of the video. 2 little girls, probably I'd say toddler level of age, and the entire conversation. I don't know if you've seen this, Scarlet.
Yeah, I see
Totally telepathic. Never a mouth was actually opened up until they actually laughing with each other. And they were not of this world.
And the reason why that is because they have never lost that part of their life from the family line and wherever
Correct.
it went.
Correct.
That particular family line held close to their history. So such as the Hindu religion or the Hindu study of,
Right.
of history, which is the very beginning, which is what most Western Americans don't have a clue yet. And what they do have a clue of the little that they do know of, they shun it because they think it's not incorrect. But in source, which is where we all are, everything is correct because everything is source. So you cannot rule out one and keep the other. It's impossible.
True.
You got to hold on to everything. And so with that, I like to ask this question here.
Okay.
How many people can actually say that they know a lot about the place they live, which is the planet? How many people can really say that they know their planet? They know even the place you live. How many people can say that you know everything, or you know a lot about where you live or about your planet?
No one.
I doubt very few people can
The
really.
main fact of that truly is, which you just nailed it, because per that video yesterday, on purpose, when we were sent here, in a sense voluntarily, and that this video emphasized it and repeated it many times. We're reborn into infants by choice and given an erasure of memory to then wake up and regroup and remember, in other words, recall what we were actually removed of that memory of our origin, and to understand what this planet labeled Earth is all about, to help Earth and awaken others who are in the same predicament that we faced, and to actually wake up and realize so many abilities that you came to is now erased, but not erased in a sense, it's suppressed. You just have to now remember who you are and your abilities and share that with everyone who choose and not so badly brainwashed, as I would consider programmed, to forget, hence the Matrix. And
Right.
that's why that crap actually happened, which caused all this chaos. And root area, which I actually got to find, what you even mentioned, Shiva, and Scar, you echoed it, is fear. That was programmed to make us forget and to be afraid of going back to who we originally are.
Yeah.
and recap.
Well, that's what you just said. That's some true, and a lot of it's what you speaking is not true. I don't like taking things from other people unless I know that they're saying what they're
Well, it
speaking
came from the
about.
Arcturian group, so that's why I'm echoing that.
The Arcturian group said it.
The Arcturians actually reflected that, yes, in this video.
You heard it from them though, particularly their videos.
Yeah.
It was one of their. Then they said rebirth.
It was like in a sense because it was requested who wants to go to Earth, but there was conditions. And that means
Yeah, now that's true. That part is true. But I thought I'm just because I heard you say something about the person said rebirth. I'm like, we're not rebirth.
no, it's
not
like
rebirth.
they had to come back as infants.
Yeah, right.
that was
But
the
you
condition.
incarnated. You incarnated.
Right.
You're not
Same,
rebirth.
I mean, it's a different way of expressing it, but yes, that's it.
Right. So always use the right correct words, because if you don't, you do not know what you're saying. You can do a lot of damage. And
The thing was that also they emphasized that the information to gather is not, like you mentioned before, not only on the outside, like without, but within. It's a combination
Within,
of what you read
exactly.
and what you go with inside of your own highest self to realize that who your highest self actually is. And yes, to answer that question, nobody knows their highest self unless they go inside.
yes. You want to say something, Scarlet?
Go ahead, Scarlet, honey.
Yes, I wanted to, because I wanted to pick it up what Nightwing says about rebirth. Maybe we should explain to the audience what the difference is between rebirth and incarnation, because I think that's very important to know, because I think few people know that there is a difference. So
Exactly.
what do you think of that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because Western American does not teach anything, because I don't think half of the people have a clue that you incarnate. They think born, as they call it, born or birthing is the way of life, but it's not, because you have all your language and information that has been indoctrinated you have been indoctrinated in is an indoctrination. It's not an education. And that is the missing part of life. Education.
Can we define indoctrination then, that term?
Pardon me?
Can we explain what indoctrination actually means? I heard that actually when I was taught
Indoctrination
Catholic, but I don't
is,
remember. I never asked.
yes.
That.
Indoctrination is taking what is given as a belief or as a way, and taking it and using it as for what it is when it isn't. So indoctrination is that you're taking someone else's information that is given to you and are told to you this is how it is, and then you believing in it and are accepting it. Rather than to write and then to see within, to see is it so or is it not so.
Thank you for
so you've been told what is,
how,
and yet rather than for you to know what it is or not, you accepted what was told.
Yeah, I don't accept
and
things
so you believed in something that was said, that and so someone else's thoughts or beliefs, someone else's beliefs, so you accepted what was said. That's how the beginning of deception, if you can call it deception, because when we're talking source and we're talking creation, there is no wrong or right. It's all source. So you can say you were deceived, and in one way you were, but in another way you wasn't. You see, because when you conjure up source here, and when we're talking source, we're talking everything, and so that's a life of lifetimes, of many lives that you have lived, that conjures up source. And then even to this day, you cannot put it in one nutshell but yet you can put it in a nutshell, but in that nutshell, it is so much in there. You know what I'm saying? You can bring it out as far as you can take it, and you can bring it in as small as you can put it. It's a never ending to source. Never.
May I give an example for indoctrination so that everybody can understand better? Because
Yes.
it's a big topic, and let me present it in some simple words. Indoctrination is what's happening when you're a child and your parents are talking to you, teaching you something that they have learned from their parents, their traditions, and so on. This is indoctrination. And this is
Right.
what happens all the time. It happens in school, it happens in church, it happens everywhere where children are together with older persons, with adults. They think they have to teach the child something they know, they got to know from their parents and the church and the school.
But can I interrupt you with that? Because here's the key to that. That's not really so, because your parents was indoctrinated as well.
Well,
So
like a
you cannot.
generation.
Yes,
you can't-
they
yeah. So there is no right and wrong teaching. Huh? See,
What did you say?
there is no right and wrong teaching and that aspect, because you everyone has been put under the same spell.
True.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say with it. You know,
Yeah,
this is what I wanted to say. It goes from the parents to the child, from the child to his child or her son, her daughter, and so on, because they don't know if it's wrong or if it's right, what they being taught.
Exactly.
Before.
So the key is that so where do you begin? Do you begin at the parent?
Yeah.
Or do you begin at the grandparent? Or
Hence
do
the
you begin at
mysterious
the child?
question
You do
itself.
not.
Where do I
No,
go?
you do
Grandparents tell me, or my parents tell me, or my siblings tell me if I have siblings? Do my
No.
friends tell me around me? I mean, that's going to be a
No.
question from the child. Who do I believe?
No. No, because then you leave yourself limit. You put yourself in a limit. You don't put yourself in a limit, because you have to see beyond the fact that everyone has come in the same way. Everyone is pretty much speaking the same language. So therefore, where did it originate from? And no one ever questioned that. They don't think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now a question.
If
They have no idea then. They have no idea where it originates.
then you must leave out of that circle that you're in, because now you're in a circle and everyone believes and sees the same thing. So obviously what's in the circle had to come from another circle, from somewhere else. The circle didn't just begin here. It did not begin on earth. And that is the dumbed down part of life.
Oh my gosh, that is so simplified in such a way that there's no error in that. And the thing is that, we are very judgmental.
There you go.
We were taught about what's wrong and right. We were taught to be judgmental. I mean, even my explanation in the past, just to the point before it came out of my mother, I already had consciousness. I had awareness, but I couldn't explain it because I didn't know how to explain it.
Most children, or most conscious, I would say, that comes in here and take on a body is exactly that way. You always normally remember when you first come in, but as you grow, you forget.
Thankfully, I haven't forgotten.
because now you're being taught, now you've been given a different language or a different way from what you have used to, from what you come from. When you come from out there, which is in cosmetics, the cosmos, that's where everyone comes from. Mm-hmm. In a sense, you don't, because in a sense, as what it is, we're all the conscious of source. Right. We are in the conscious of source, but we're all of thoughts that's in the conscious of source. That's what we are. We are thoughts made in the conscious of source. Mm-hmm. And that's the other mix up or downfall, because you've been told that there's a God that creates you. And it's not so. There's no God that created you and you alone, just that God. Now, is there a God? that does a creation? Yes, because we all are gods and we all create. So was there one God that did this particular creation? Yes. But did it start from that God? Did that God have all the source to
Well, that's
bring forth?
that's where the confusion got then manipulated, as
Exactly.
well as and shared by quote unquote humanity to then produce. We have to have some kind of direction, some kind of order, some kind of definition of purpose.
Exactly. You wasn't given directions because it wasn't meant for you to have directions up until now, which is the last life of this.
Well, that's the other reason why many churches are falling down, because people are waking up and realizing, well, what if it doesn't really serve me, what you're sharing? That's what they state, and that's why they even walk away. It's like, well, you're not really helping me in my purpose of life. And my spiritual life is what I'm looking to actually discover. I can't just be meat and bones and thought.
And you will not discover your spiritual life unless you seeking for it or looking for it. Not knowing
Hence that quest.
not knowing that the life that you live is not you. It's not your life.
And then with all this chaos going on now, thankfully, though in our lives later, because it comes down in 2020, which was obviously arranged this way. This whole thing was designed purposefully for us to finally unite and clean up and elevate our energies in a unified way that's more positive, more loving, never destructive in any manner, nor by health, mentality, or suppression, even destruction.
The problem with that won't work. Why? Because you're in here for an experience. True. And not only are you in here for an experience, now you have already experienced what you're experiencing now. The reason you're experiencing what you're experiencing now is because you have already been here and performed the life that you're living today, and you've gone into another life expand. You're already living in another life expand in your future. The reason you're here now is because you're back here from your future to correct something that happened in your past, to stop it from happening, from going into your future. That's the reason we're here. Other than that, we wouldn't be here. Master Ascenders is here, such as yourself. Mm-hmm. Many of us. And the only reason we're all here is because we had the most unifying energy mm-hmm. in order to make the task to happen, right? To rewrite our history. Simple as that. To rewrite our history. This is why we're here. To rewrite our history. The problem that we have as humanity and as a people on the planet is that you don't question enough. You're not curious. You're not curiosity enough. Curiosity, as they say, curiosity killed the cat, which is true. Very true.
Yeah, but the curiosity killed the cat. The cat still got 9 lives, so can't kill that bad.
Well, but curiosity took him out the first time because he was curious, and
right.
and when you get curious, what happens when you get curious? Tell me.
You might get burned. You might get burned.
Well, that's true, but you begin to look. You begin to seek. When you get curious, right?
Yeah.
You begin to think. You begin to think outside of the box, outside of the mind. You begin to, you know.
And when you asked that question earlier, I think only in infancy itself, the early part of life, is where we have that curious mind, that curious thoughts. Like, well, why is that thing up there in the sky so bright? Is that a light bulb? What is that thing called? Why do I feel it's like blowing my head, my face, air? What is that called, air? Why am I feeling warmth? Why is it that people laugh? What's laughter? What is
exactly?
What is to feel pain? Why is it that hurts me? Why is it like am I crying? Why am I getting
and then you connect the dots.
Yeah.
Then you start connecting the dots. If you can find the answer to that, then you find the answer to something that goes with that.
And the thing is, as children that are innocent, we go by emotions like a passing cloud.
Exactly.
We'll
But
cry, and
here's
then
the
we'll
problem.
laugh, and then we'll get angry, and then we'll laugh again, or we'll fall asleep. Like, why am I falling asleep? Have a dream.
Yeah, but here's the problem. The reason why none of that happens, most of the time it doesn't happen. You know, it's happening now, however, but it has taken humanity 85, I believe is either 85 or 95 times, I think, to come in here, incarnate, and experience the experiences so that they could beat out that part of their life, or in order to step across the line to the future, in order to kill that you have sown, or to stop sowing it, to stop it, that you do not sow in that energy anymore. And the reason why that is it took that, the reason why it took that long is because you're indoctrinated, and indoctrination, as I said, is something given to you. It's a teaching that's given to you, and you believed in it. And because you beliefs are very, very, very strong, extremely strong. But consider this: you are a thought. So am I. So are you. So each one is a thought of a force of energy that has been given unto you, meaning that you are alive. That energy is living, and is forceful, and it operates. You see?
And it connects.
So, right. So I lost my train of thought. Belief is a force, and is alive, and it does what it's called to do. In my studies that I'm working on here, which is several, you know, because I'm a researcher, I'm a hog, and so I love knowledge. And so, but in my research, I find that everything is a force, and because it's source, and source is force, it's a force, you know, like a force field, but it's a force. And because everything is a force, and everything has the living source of energy going through it and operating in it, it is living. So it has a name that is giving it, which is inside of that force that it operates in, like Scarlet the Red Witch. That's your energy that has been given to you. So that's who you are. So you carry a force of that energy that is a Scarlet Red Witch, whatever you are, and in that source is giving you an operation that makes that energy of what it is. So a river is not just a river. It is a deity, and it has a name, and it's not just called river. And it operates in the force that it is given. Trust me. So when you go to the river and you connect with the water, you can speak to it, and it has two forces working in it. It has dark and light operating in that. Yeah, it can take life, and it also can give life. You see that?
Yes, that's with everything. But we can give life and take life too.
There you go. Exactly. And the reason why is that because it is given. It is given that you operate in the dark and in the light, and you must choose. So taking that back to all this that we just spoke about, the indoctrinated minds, which has caused a whole planet of people to believe in a belief that was damn the lie, not the truth. It was damned to be in a lie. And so you have lived your whole life as a lie. A lie to what? To yourself. And and that happened over a period of time Just think about it over a period, and then let's consider this. In your good book that they give to you to read, to tell you this is your good book and this is what you need to go by, and don't go by any other book, because this is what I give to you to go by. I'm the God and I tell you what to do. I'm your creator. So now this is the book I want you to live by. Really? And no other book? Nope. And do not question me by anything. Well, I'll be damned. Okay, so you begin to look at the good book, and because all this has been given to you, told you, huh?
These are the rules. You follow it, you're done.
Yes, exactly. And so you had fear not to question it, and not to question the God itself either.
Oh my gosh, man! Talk about tyranny.
There you go. See, and then say, for instance, just like you just said the word tyranny. Say, for instance, I'm sitting here with my head full of all my beliefs and all my fears and all my craziness that this God done
Nice to define it. Craziness. It is chaotic.
See, and then you come along and you say something, say tyranny, and I actually hear you say that.
You want to slap me, don't you? You just want to slap me. Like,
what
the hell are you saying?
No, I do not. I wouldn't want to slap you. What I need to do is turn my ear to that.
No, but what I'm saying is you would slap me because I don't match with your beliefs. Is what I'm talking about.
No.
Like, you're wrong. Like,
no,
really?
No, that's the wrong way. I'm saying,
exactly. I agree with you.
The right way should have been that when I heard another sound,
right?
When I heard another sound,
yeah.
outside of the sounds that I've been so prone to, indoctrinated in,
sure.
My thing that I was supposed to do was pick that sound up and hold it and go and investigate it, to go and find out where did it come from.
But not many do that.
Sound.
That's the problem. Not many do that.
Exactly, because the fear and the tunnel vision that the God then put them in, the tunnel vision.
Yep, just like a horse with the blinders, no difference.
So what I'm saying is that most people have not explored their planet. Yet they have not even explored the place that they live.
Because they're not really affecting your surroundings. You're correct.
But here's the
your
most
own dwelling, your own
reason.
home, then the neighborhood you're in, then the state you're in, then bigger and bigger to the point you get to the globe. Okay, now it's beyond the globe. What's beyond that? I mean,
that's when
I saw a video even last night.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
That's when you're thinking outside of the box at that point. But
right.
when you're not thinking outside of the box, what is happening is that you have a governor, which is what your God done put in to govern you. Now think about what governs does. A government governs. And that means it needs to let out a little bit here, a little bit, or keep, or let out a lot. It depends on the govern. That's govern it. Who's governing the govern? Somebody got to be governing govern.
Oh my gosh, that's so factual.
Is your governor has got your head up his ass the whole time. Which is true.
Imagine if my governor and your governor got together, I'd be like,
I don't have one.
Go at it.
Not on this planet. My governor don't live on this planet. My governor lives in the.
I'm talking about Illinois.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. But the truth is what it is. Your governor's got your head up his ass, and so the governor keeps you governed because the God that is said to you that is your God is the God of that governor, and he's lording over the governor, and the governor's lording over you. You see?
What a mess.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I follow you. It's just a mess.
So there we go. And this is why it gets me back to the chakras and to the Dante Inferno. When you come in here, you come in hell. You're incarnated into hell. Why? Because you got a lot of shit that you need to fix.
Got clean up the mess.
There you go. Undo, because you're back, like I say, you're back from your presence in your past. So you got to fix something that has been in your past that will stop your future from being a future. Right. Which is those gods that you've been serving all this time is planning on making you a damn robot rather than a human. That's their intentions.
That's the messed up part about the whole thing.
And it still stands to this day. That's why people got to wake up, because you don't mean nothing to them. They can't handle you. That's the problem. They don't know how
That's,
they don't know
that's
how we
so,
operate.
so factual. It's even beyond expression.
They do not know how you operate. So because they cannot control you, they rather just make you something that they can control, which is a robot.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's what they're doing.
And that is the plan. So now we are here to stop that from happening, and that it does not happen, because if it does, there's the whole human race has been taken out. It will be never again. It's no more of that human.
Not in a bad way. In a
This
good way.
this particular this particular body here, because most this body only comes on this planet. It doesn't come on the other one's planets. Not like this one.
Now, to add about energies that you're speaking of, the chakras and with the Dante's Inferno and the other dimensions or realms, I did see another video last night that actually explained, and gosh, it's so well produced, explaining about the pyramids on this planet and the serious structure of what they're discovering to be so interesting to them. Like, there's no way these supposed tombs, when those pyramids aren't actually tombs, they're actually batteries for the planet that actually was designed completely to give us wireless electricity as to do wireless communication.
Did you know that
Which
they're
is true.
probably on Mars and
Exactly.
even,
Correct.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Listen. Now,
I guess
here's your
they know
mistake.
that?
Here's your
Really?
mistake. The two of you. No. Yeah. No. Here's your mistake. See how you've been indoctrinated, because you heard what somebody said and you took it for verbatim. The case is this: they haven't found and discovered nothing. They always knew. You, the one, did not know.
But they don't share it, obviously.
But they always knew. It is time that the light is shining on the darkness. That's the only reason you can hear it now, because in the past you could not heard that.
Because it got
wasn't
suppressed,
time.
obviously.
It wasn't time. Now it's time, because now we're here to fix a wrong, to make it right.
I mean, even with Tesla, who already knew about it, technically an inventor, but actually was not even of the world, because he was an extraterrestrial, and then the extraterrestrials took him out, as he's already discovering.
No, he's not gone.
I know he's not. I'm talking about what the Earth. Follow what I'm going with, Shiva.
Yes, what the Earth told
The
you.
Earth
Exactly.
actually already had it. He was exposing it, and the lower frequencies of entities on the planet silenced him. Though he was communicating with ETs about what he already knew, they enforced him to go ahead and write the information, but then he never got credibility. Well, guess what? Even after he was supposedly taken out, his information still continued on, his studies, his research.
He's not taken out, though. He's still alive.
I understand that, but they made his physical body be erased. That's what I'm referring to. They made him appear to be gone. That's the point.
In one sense, yes, but keep it in mind that we're dealing with two different energies, and they both exist at the same time. Light and dark.
They made it documented for him to be dead. They documented that way. He was documented to be killed.
Yes. I can see that, but just like I say, just keep in mind that you're working with an energy that is dark and light, which means light is information, darkness is lack of information. Darkness continues to work and evolve in the information that is in, because it prefers that particular information. It does not want any more. It don't want to accept anymore, because it lacks what it has. That would be the ego. Okay, really. And the God that people say that they serve, and whatever you want to call it. Because
that's why ego
how
loves
it works.
arrogance so much, and that greed idea and that stupidity itself is just like pure ignorance.
Which is hell. Now keep in mind, because it's dark, right? And that means that the people that operates or live there, that is there, is made the choice to decide to live in darkness rather than in light. So they want to continue in the information that they have, or the what do you want to call it, the energy of the experiences, whatever it is, you know, and they love that, which is chaos. And so they don't want any different than what they have. So they enjoy to be where they at.
Yeah.
Those that are now, like I say, not everyone that comes in, especially to this day that we're living in now, they will not continue in that, because they'll rise above it. They'll rise up and they'll come up into the light. They'll come toward the light, and they'll begin to intercept the information, and then they'll change to the light of themselves.
Right.
And that goes to your chakras, because you have been under like I say, under the influence of an indoctrinated planet or people. Mm-hmm. And you have believed in that has been given to you. And so because you've lived all these different lives of not evolving from that particular way, mm-hmm. you have to fix the chakras, because so many timelines has been given this way to live, and thinking that it was all right, and thinking that it was the right way to go, but it wasn't. So things got off track. And when you was coming in as a baby, which is your root chakra, is a very chakra that you must develop while you're in here. Mm-hmm. It's the one that gives you the growth from starting as a baby to evolve into your next growth, which is your next 7 years. And each chakra operates in a development or evolving of the mankind, or whatever you are, you know, what you would call yourself, because you're evolving from a man to a God, back to a God, which is what you originated from. Because keep in mind, you're conscious, you're a thought inside of the conscious of source. Therefore, there is no death, but there is a birthing and a rebirthing inside of the energy of the source. So what is happening, or you could say revolving, and so what you're doing is, if you get taken out of the life that you're being brought forth in, because each time there's a civilization and it's born from the source, and the source put it there, and the source has got it to evolve in the timelines that it is in, and then as that civilization begin to fade out, another one is coming forth. And this is happening all at once. It doesn't happen over a period of time. It is happening, boom, just like this. But we're source, so it takes a minute to get this baby through here, right? A long minute, because we're having a birthing, okay? It's not going to come in one day. But so in that process, you're going, somebody's knocking on my door.
Go figure.
What great time. Yes. Okay. So in that process, you it's always, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it sounds like you're speaking about a lot of transitions, because death, in a sense,
there you go.
Humane,
exactly.
Humane indoctrination is about transition.
Go ahead. Let me see.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What were you wanting to share?
Yeah, tradition. Yes, this indoctrination goes through with traditions and religion.
True.
Very much with religion. And so you have to break out the system when you first start realize as a child. It's always in the age of the child. That's my experience from other people I talked about it. And they said, I started to realize that something is wrong. It doesn't feel right. It is something, there must be something outside that is bigger, or it's not here yet, but it comes in. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
That's why I did have, which I explained beforehand, my great deal of, I would say inquiries in my mind, but the problem was that not many of, in one manner, I knew I had a mission, but in another manner, I didn't know what the mission, how it was defined. And then when I did question my father a great deal, since I realized that he was actually a student more than anything else of the religion of the Catholic Church. Yeah. And when I was reading the Bible and being taught the Bible in school, there were so many areas there that just did not really align with me. I was like, why is this the way? And why is this got a gap in time? Why is Yeshua named Jesus when actually it's not the true name? It just doesn't make sense, though, given by an angel to name that child a male. What would have been a female being born?
But hold on.
It was actually
Hold
destined
on.
to be a male.
Hold
Okay,
on.
that part. But
Exactly.
it was just
exactly.
the question that came up to my mind. I was like, okay, there's things here that aren't consistent. It's like a puzzle without pieces. And I don't have the entire picture here. So give me a picture. But the problem.
But did you see where you missed? Did you see where you missed the puzzle at? When you said when it was said, it was given that an angel said it.
Right.
Then they didn't question who was the angel.
Because they gave the angel a name, but like, well, where did the angel come from, and why at that time was my question. Why at that time?
But no, what I'm saying is there are several angels. There are dark angels and there are light angels. Did anyone question where the angel come from or who was the angel? It could have been an angel, yes, but whose angel was it? There's
Well,
the problem.
the angel stated I came from the Father. I'm like, okay.
Well, who's the Father? There you go.
I went further deeper into it. Like, I even asked my father. He was like, "These are good questions." I'm like, "Where does this come from?" Like, well, just because I'm taught doesn't mean I'm just going to follow it blindly. I mean,
yes, but what I'm saying is that's where the indoctrination came from, when the people took it as an angel. They never questioned the angel. They never questioned and here's the biggest problem that the whole is all confused and combined over, because the whole is not aware that it's a whole. First of all, it's not aware that it came out of a whole and it's a part of a whole.
As far as they know, is a group. It's a community.
Well,
I'm like,
either
okay,
way,
why?
I don't know if they. I don't know if they know that either.
Exactly.
Listen, the point that I'm making is that because of what has happened in your mentality or in your timelines of being indoctrinated, you're not knowing that you're in whole. You're not. And if you're in a whole, that means you're dark and you're light together.
Right.
And therefore, you have not even open up enough to
even the concept hasn't even taken ground. I mean, it hasn't rooted in yet. I agree with you.
But the point is that the planet has just accepted what has been given. You accept it. But listen, but here's the key. That does not fall as a negative on you. Why? Because it didn't start from you. As above, so below. As below, so above. And there is no new thing under the sun. The good book tells you that. So that means what is happening now has happened in the past. It had a beginning. So because you see the child molesters and the baby eaters on the planet, they didn't start them here. This is not where life began.
This over here came later.
Life begins in the cosmos or in the whole, which it does. Even male and female tells you that. Where are you doing, huh? Life begins in the whole, not in the phallus.
The balance came later.
But the phallus thinks that it can live without the whole. It believes that it can have life without her, and it's impossible. Just like the egg and the chicken. Which one came first?
That's still a mystery.
It has been the egg. And when we talk about that, we're talking about source. Source is depleted, or whatever you want to call it, as an egg, as many things. So is the cow. But people have lost the cow, and they think that the cow is in India's worship just because, but India has some brains. They maybe not should be worshipped, the cow, because it's source still, and you don't worship source, but at the same time, the cow plays a major part in your life because the cow represents source, and it is source. That cow was, the two things came through that timeline when it happened, was a giant and a cow and a block of salt. That's how it happened. There you go.
Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you something about what I learned when I was very young. My mother never talked with me about religion or something like that. My mother told me about the cosmos and something like that and source. I didn't understand when I was young, but she told me about the whole energy of the creation, and that's all is creation. And I didn't know what she meant because I was too small or my mind wasn't evolved yet to realize. And she said, we're not come from Earth, we are coming from another place. And we are in here and we are here to learn.
And you want
yeah.
and you want me to tell you why your mother was able to say that? Because your mother or your timeline or your bloodline, family line, whatever you want to call it, that you incarnate in, because we keep the same bloodline or the same family line for different reasons, but for different experiences. And we can get that from that particular family line. That doesn't mean we're family. It just means we're only in family time, family life times that we're holding that's family lifetime in that line of lives, so that we can get certain things out of that particular bloodline there. And so your mother held to truths, so your whole bloodline has held on to them. So they have certain truths that others don't have, and they can speak about them because they know they are truth. Exactly. They didn't lose it to a lie, because only a lie can change what is true, and it does not change it. It covers it up, covers it.
Yes.
So
and this is because
the lie is what's revealing, and the truth is hidden. Remember, they say a cult is hidden truth. That's all it is. Hidden knowledge. They hid it for themselves. So why? So that you wouldn't have it and you wouldn't see what they were doing. So they hide behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And you would get killed if you went behind there. Huh?
Yeah. And I'm so thankful for that.
Yes. And you should be, and use it. Use it for the good. And I always will. I always do. And when she told me about this, I asked her many questions. I know that about the pyramids and something like that, and she knows so many things to tell I have never heard before. And later when I was in school and the teacher told me mankind built the pyramids and they are all tombs, and I said no, not true. Because they like to take you back to Egypt. They like or Rome, one of them. They like to put you back in Rome and keep you in Rome. Yeah, I think that's what they want. They hold you in Rome. So as long as you're holding in Rome, you'll never go home because you're roaming. That's how your phone can say home in Rome. They put it in front of you. Everything is. But we're not being aware. You don't see past your nose or past the blinders that's on. You cannot look because you've been told not to. Don't pull the blinders off. Keep them on.
Yes, and so they kicked me out of the class, and
because you knew too much.
Kicked out.
And you questioned what they told you, and you say, I questioned that, and you're like, get out of here. You too smart for your own good.
And so I went to DK.
Why?
Which is true. That's the way they did it. And now listen, the thing is, you got to know this. Nothing as far as humanity concerned had no place in any that doing, except that you are not who you think you are. You are you in another part of the cosmos. So that means you are the reason why you have been in the way that you have been, because you was a part of what was taking place in the evolving or in the creation of source as humanity, and as the phallus began to take his place and move in the direction of darkness and chaos and live in those thoughts and gather them up with other thoughts and bring them in with them, and as you continue to evolve in that way, then you're still who you are, and you kept going on and to evolve in the way of chaos, forgetting about the way you came, which is from the whole or the female or whatever you want to call it, not wanting to have any more lackness of that source, because you love what you had to be of your own God and to be of your own creator. not realizing the only thing you was going to create was what you are. You cannot create any different because you do not have the other half of who you are.
Yeah.
I put a lot in there. That's a lot I just gave you, though.
A little
Yeah.
bit of a mouthful there, Shiva.
Huh?
A little bit of a mouthful there.
Yes, I did. I put a lot on you right there. You got to figure it out. That's what I came in. That's why I said what I said when I first started. I'm giving you something, and I want you to figure it out. I want you to go research. I want to give you something to think about. I want you to know that you are not what you believe that you are as you look in the mirror every day and think that the man is you. No, you're a spirit being, you're a source energy, you are a conscious, you are a thought, and you must become what you are or go back into the fullness of what you are, which is a God, which is all things are of a source. God, source, source, God. It's all you are. And so we must evolve into a spirit less than as a man from this day, because as long as we continue to think we are man, we'll become a robotic man, and we will not be a spirit evolved God or being, and taking your life to make it be what you decide that you want rather than what another decide for you, as you are continually live under the darkness or the lack of information or the chaotic information, and be a food or a source for another, but be that for you as yourself, and learn how to evolve in the being or the light or the source light, that energy that you are, which is everyone, you know. So
That's the important thing. That is the important thing to evolve every day. And yes, that is why we are here. That's why we are here for. That's why we're talking about it, so everybody can see and understand where we are in now and where we will go is depending on ourselves. It's depending on us.
exactly,
So,
because as you speak, there's a sound, and as the sound begins to come forth, there's a feeling that comes with it, and there's creation. And as long as you're going to speak, as long as you're going to have the emotion put to that when you speak it, then you need to begin to make creation be what you decide that it be, and not what has been given to say this is creation, or this is how it is, or this is the way, whatever. Because while you are not connected to your mother, you'll always be without a mother. Now, how can you do that? How can you live without the suckling or the milk or the breast or whatever the case you want to call it, the nourishment, which is what a mother do? You need that nourishment. And so the main reason that I like to bring all this out the way I'm bringing it out, because I have the planet of beings who believing in something that is not so, which is a whole doctrination of lies. And therefore, we all believe there's a God that created us, and here we are walking around. Go to your job, okay? Go to your, you know. And here's your book. This one here you read only, no other. What really? What am I gonna measure it with? What other book that I can make sure is? You do what I say. Not what. I'm the pastor. I'm the whatever over you, the Lord.
Minister, leader.
Yeah, and
church,
if Jesus, Lord. If Jesus was the Lord, so are you. What is a Lord in the first place? Do you even know what a Lord is? A Lord's over people.
As far as I know, the words are actually using the English or British royalty, isn't it?
Well, it's a lot of things.
What is royalty? What is royalty?
Exactly the point. That's what I'm saying. The monarchy, what's the monarchy? I mean, it's all distorted information.
Yes, exactly.
What did they think they are made of that they are thinking they are royalty? What is the difference between them?
Because the difference between them is the gods that is living in their bodies. If you want to call it a body, you can call it a lot of things, but the gods, which is the outside source entity of another force of of energy that has walked into that body and has began to control the humanity and tell them what they want them to know. Plain and simple. It's a bloodline.
Yes,
it's a bloodline.
Yes.
And listen, the bloodline didn't start in Earth. It started in the cosmos. Like I say, it's a bloodline. And it runs from the hierarchy, dark force gods to down to here. Or you can call it ego, or you can call it Yahweh. Call it all of them, because they are what it is. Call it Brahma. Brahma is the creator, and he's the beginning of all creation, is Brahma, which he creates through the thought of Yeshua. Consider, what will a Yeshua be if it says a Yas and a Shua? Consider. Yeah. So a Yah and a Shua is two different words. You need to dissect it and find out. And mind you, you can't follow Yeshua, because I've tried. Yeah, it's hard as hell to follow Yeshua is to follow hell. you want to line Yeshua up? You got to know how to go, where to go to find the information to line it up, or you won't find him. No, but he is. See, Brahma.
Yes, he is.
Yes, but Brahma is your beginning of your creator. That's you got three: prime, divine, and creator. Prime is the main source of all sources, brought itself into divine to divide itself, and then began to create in itself. So that's how it works. You see? And then divide, which people call it the devil, but it's divine. Divine divides, and creator creates. But as creator, source, energy, whatever it is, remember, prime still brought forth those other two, and they have to evolve as well. So as prime evolving herself or itself inside of those other two, it's going to have a creation that comes forth over an expand time, and then it goes away and it expands into another way, because it evolved enough in this expansion. Now it's going to expand into another way. So therefore comes Yahweh from Brahma. But Yahweh is your mean God, or your treacherous God, or your God who wants to keep you serving him and worshiping him and whatever, and so that you don't know that you are the same as it is as source, and can create you as you decide that you want to bring your life forth in every way, and allow source to operate. But Yahweh didn't want that. So Yahweh had you under the spell of Yahweh bullshit. Now he's been tied up now, but either way, he's not operating anymore. They've taken him out. But that's how creation happens. So go back to Norse, and you find Odin, the father of all father seeing. That's Odin. Odin began, but Odin came from the giant and the cow and the salt that first began, because the cow, which is the mother, and then you have the giant as the father would be, as you would want to say, and the cow licked the salt, and the father of the giant drank the milk of the cow to stay alive. And as the salt being licked, come forth the God. But see, the God came forth after the primes. Yeah, that's in the Norse. That's in your Norse. That's as far as back you can go as history without looking over the other side. But to have something to go by as a guideline, just as far as you can go, and then you gotta. Oh wait, I'm plugging in. So hold on. But yeah, so then you take that life expansion that was what Odin's and or the giant or what in the cow. There is a timeline in there. There's an expansion that happened during that time, but you don't know that. But you got to see it, because you're the same way. So an expansion over a period of time happened, and something comes forth out of that, and then another creation is done, and so far on until we down to this timeline here of this creation. And so something did create this way, or this body, and this this group of civilization of people, which is the humanity. Something did bring forth the creating of it, but it brought forth it in a way that it decided to put it in. You know what I'm saying? Because as it began, it kept coming to its end, and now it's at its end. But it began way back, and it's doing this here, spiraling down, and now it's starting to turn, spiraling back up. The spiraling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is the spiral.
The
And
spiral, yeah, and the spiraling, yeah, all of that. And so inside of all that you have come forth out of, there's many lifetimes on top of lifetimes, evolving on top of evolving, being whatever, just going forth. But in what were you going forth in is the key. I was going forth in the darkness of myself continually without the light to keep me balanced or whatever. I'm just bringing it in, which is true. But, you know, yeah, without having the light of me to know the balance of, you know, of chaotic darkness, whatever, life.
you can only fight what you know. And what people know this day on earth is chaos. And if you know your foe, you can fight it. So they have to come, or we all have to come back to the light.
But you don't fight it unless you're looking for it. And then you don't look for it unless you start to look outside of what's been given or what's been told or what's been spoken. You gotta, you know, and not be sheep, but be goats. That's why the Illuminati used the goat. Because that goat is a seahorse, sea goat. He's a land goat and he's a mountain goat. And he does all, and all them different lives he can operate in. But you've been told to be a sheep, which is just dumb, led by the dumb mind and go wherever and be killed. You're not sheep. You're goat.
No.
If anything, you're
I thought it was more like a lion.
Well, you all of them, but don't be just as a sheep, but be a sheep and be a goat and be a cow and be a horse, be all of them. But be it in the light.
I want to be uniform.
In the light and in
Yes.
the dark of yourself as they in balance. Balance them. And then live and evolve and go on. That's, you know, it's so much to creation. It's like, and you think that's something. Well, when I can get something that blows me away, that's scary. And I got something yesterday that kind of blew me away, and I was like, what? I'm like, oh shit, I'm done with this. You know, there's no winning. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, well, how do we win? But I missed something in this, so I had to go back and listen to it again. And then I found what I missed, because I'm like, shit, then we're doomed, you know? Because what I heard, it was almost impossible to leave the 4D and 5D without the metrics controlling you. And I was like, what? Oh, shit. You know, I'm like, well, we done. But I heard it wrong, so I went back and I re-listened. I'm like, okay, now at least I got a chance, you know, I got hope. First you're telling me this, I'm like, oh, well, maybe I can climb that ladder.
What you actually listen to make sure you got it accurate and well understood when you comprehend it, and then when you miss the information or it's misled because of the fact that they're not inaccurate, it was just the way you received it.
Exactly, but the same thing happens with everything. Everything happens that way. Remember, that's how and that's how gossip. Gossip has become one of the worst demonstrated death blow sins it is. But gossip is not by itself. It came from a force, pride.
Oh yeah, pride's nasty.
Yeah,
you only got 7 days. You only got 7.
Nasty tongue.
Yeah, and then the 7 deadly sins that all the branches come out of there. You got to see where it fit in at. And if you got a gossip spirit, that means you got a proud spirit. You
getting all worked up there, Shiva.
Well, because I'm giving my energy out. Do you see how it works?
Yeah.
Shit.
That's why you gotta dry yourself up.
Watch said, see, don't you get overtired and go to sleep. I'm giving out. I'm not taking in. Do you have anything to give me? Let me take it in. And then we pull and push, yin and yang. But I'm giving out, and that means you're receiving. And I have to bring back, what I'm bringing back is something that does not match with my energy per se, but it can mingle with me. It's light enough to mingle with me. You see? That's what you have in you. And I'm pulling back from you, bringing your energy in. Of course I'm going to sweat, you know? It's not in harmony. Our energy is not in harmony.
You're cold and she's hot. I'm in between.
Right, but see, I'm the giver and you're the receiver, but I'm receiving less than what I'm giving. You see how it works? That's
Believe me,
energy
we're sharing
exchange.
it together, honey.
Energy exchange, and you exchange it all the time. That's why you must be careful who you're exchanging your energy with, because no matter where you at, you will be exchanging energy. Yes, because everything is
drained lately.
And I like something about I experienced, because I told you I have some problems at my work I do today now, because something went wrong there and I don't feel in there anymore. I feel I have to go up there, and so I was searching for new jobs and stuff like that. And so one day my cousin called me, my oldest cousin called me, and he said, well, your dad told me you are in trouble and come to me, we will talk about it. And I went to him and we had a 3 hours conversation. It was so good, and it was so loving feeling between him and me, because we like each other very much. And so he said, you want to go out of there? I will give you a job. Come to me. Be in my company. You will be happy there. We are family. We love each other very much, and you will never be harmed here. You can always ask any question you want. You never get bothered in any way. Just come to us.
I got chills. Well, I got chills over my body. Chills. I got chills.
Yeah.
Chills came all over.
Yes, chill. And
yeah, I felt it in my heart.
It's so nice. It was nice. And so I said, hey, I never will be afraid again, because I know I will get out of there and I will come to a place that is so loving that I would never be harmed again. So I never had to fight this negative energy that comes towards me. And this is the hardest thing there, because they all are negative except of me. And I always try to be positive, but they are fighting my positive energy by attacking me all the time.
And that's
when
good.
I went in his office.
But listen, that's good in one sense, because your power must come back. And if you can't stand up for yourself, then who's going to stand up for you? So you are not using your power. You must stand up for who you are and become that, and use your power. Don't let no one put you in a place that you do not belong. And you know you know your value, and if someone's come to devalue that, you must take your place and say, no, I value me, and you will not devalue what I am and who I am. But not in my way I'm saying it, but you must stand in that power and not allow your value to be taken down. And that's good. So you must face that until you take that power back. You take that power
and
back.
That is what I learned from you. Yes, I am getting my power back because I stand tall, and something special happened, and I don't know how, but I was so strong. I had a so powerful, I don't know how to call it, when the boss came in.
There you go.
And he smiled and he said, well, what are you going to do today? What is your plan for today? And I showed him, and he said, well, that's quite good. And after that, I showed him what I've done, and he said, wow, that's excellent. That's excellent work. And the colleague of mine, the one who always treats me very bad, she was so, she couldn't believe that the boss said something good to me, and so she tried to attack me.
And then what did you do?
And so I stand tall. Yeah, and so I stand tall, and I said to her, why are you yelling at me? What is the problem you have? I am so glad that I would never be like you. You are an ugly person inside, and if you look in the mirror, you will see a monster. And she, and I said,
See?
I'm only telling you the truth.
That's good. That's good. That's taking back your power, and that's standing up for who you are, not allowing.
And it felt good. It felt good. I didn't feel ashamed to say to her, because I know it was true what I was saying, and so I didn't feel ashamed for it. And after a while, she came to me and she said, apology for what I've said to you. I'm very sorry for this. And I said, it's okay, I forgive you, but don't never do this again. And so
Yes,
she went on.
Because you can be in the dark of yourself, but you must still have balance. Light, balance it. So you have, as long as you can balance it, you can use it. And you can speak it. You can become, you know, whatever it needs to be, you know, you can become that, because we are both. We're not one, we're both. The thing that makes you one is that you choose to operate in that one only, without the balancing of it. Without, you know what I'm saying? So you choose to not allow the light to come in and balance you. You just want to be in the dark that you receive or that you accept yourself to be, wherever it may be. You know what I'm saying? However you want to look at it. Because however you react is what you are. And you know what I'm saying? Within.
Yeah,
you only can be what you are. And whatever you evolved in, that's what you in. You cannot be anything less than what you already are. You know what I'm saying? Unless you decide to become. Huh?
Yeah, I understand it now. And so
There you go.
I did it.
Exactly.
And so I was like, hey, why didn't I do it before? Why didn't I ever told her what I feel inside?
Because you had certain fears or certain concerns that brought in certain fears. You had concerns about losing your job, by whatever reason. You go back and analyze it and know, because the answer is always within. It's never hardly ever be out. Most of the time, the way without has come from within. Because if I don't question,
yes, and now
remember,
I'm very positive. I know they cannot harm me anymore, and I will go off there very soon. And they are the ones who look after me and say, "Oh, it's so sad that she's gone." And I said,
yes.
"I'm not the one."
Doesn't really matter.
What'd you say?
It doesn't really matter when she leaves how they respond, because they're going to realize that they are losing someone who's of value. The only difference is that now you're liberated because you liberate yourself at the right time. That's the difference.
Right. And then as long as you liberate yourself in the right way, when you do, like, you know, you go around, say your goodbyes and say all your stuff. Don't leave animosity between you and the person who you had animosity with.
Never leave any malice.
Allow it to be smoothed over, but don't lose your power smoothing over.
No. Peaceful departure.
Huh?
A peaceful departure.
Yes, but do it in your power and in the love of yourself. Don't do it with anything less than that. And then you're good, because she will have her time and so will you. Karma is karma, which does really not even exist. Huh?
And so I will leave there in a kind way. And I will say goodbye. I have another job now. It fits me better. So I don't mind anything. I'm thankful for everything I learned here. So that's the way I want to leave there, in a good manner, with no problems, or someone could say be angry or something like this, in a good, smooth way. This is what I want, and I know I will get this, and I don't have any fear anymore, because I know there is no fear existing.
There you go.
Yes,
see?
But I have learned that. Yes, and now I know this. Yes, it was time. It was time to me to realize.
Exactly. And now you move into something else that you get another experience from. And
exactly.
And you grow. You grow, and that doesn't not only help you grow with just one way, but it helps you go in a lot of different ways, and most important, that it is helping evolve in the spirit. That's always the most important, the spirit. Yes.
Exactly. This is what is happening. And so I'm very thankful for this experience. I'm thankful for all I'm experiencing because I'm growing and learning from it. Because
There you go.
everything is learning. If it is good or it is bad, the good and bad doesn't exist, but it's only the way you choose to deal with it. And
Perceive it. Perceive it. Yes. Exactly. So, okay, you want to say something, Nightwing, then we can cut our meeting down, you know?
Oh, yes, yes. I don't know. I think he's going to the toilet.
Oh, did he? He even took off. He's probably been drinking coffee.
Oh, I have my coffee here.
Yeah.
Let's take care of some business.
I say you probably been drinking coffee. Coffee makes you go.
I drank enough coffee. I had to go. You know, I mean,
Oh, my heavens.
can't blame me.
Yes. Okay. So you got something to say? Then we can shut down our meeting.
So we'll yeah, we can wrap it up right now, and I will actually do we're doing another meeting again next weekend itself, and we'll define which day. Since next weekend
Yes,
actually seems to be a bit more flexible because I'm not gonna visit my mother next weekend, maybe the weekend after, but yeah, we'll post or inform you of the next meeting itself. We hope we have more people actually come in, which would be nice. That way we actually can then have bigger conversation, bigger discussion. This one was really definitely very good sharing.
Yes.
Very much more information that we haven't talked about, which is actually excellent to help. And yeah, this series is not going to stop because the fact there's way too much that we have to share, and we're going to do it in segments, like I stated in the beginning.
Yes.
So,
my goodness.
I'm going to definitely bring up some, I'll post this on YouTube again, but I'm going to actually use a bit more imagery that reflects when I play it back to myself. So that way then I can actually match up imagery with the points that Shiva shared, I've shared, and what Scarlet shared. So that way then it echoes with a bit of pictorial or imagery itself to help with that.
Yes.
Some definitions, things like that. So that way any questions that do come up can be answered.
Yes.
So we invite
Yes.
you, anybody else, to please subscribe to our channel and definitely hit the notification so that way you can actually receive more videos. We definitely invite you to come and join us because we have so much to share, a lot of energy that actually is going through all these shifts, enlightenment. The earth is truly changing in a better way. And we definitely appreciate the love and the light and compassion that we share all together because we're all connected without question. So we thank you so much for listening, for watching us. We're sorry that Shiva looks like she's out in the ordinary because she's her head's to the side, but it's okay. She's gonna get a computer soon. So we don't have better visual.
Yay.
So thank you so much for joining. Thank you for watching us. And again, please subscribe.
Yes. Namaste, everyone. Have a wonderful day. I love everybody.
Love you all.
Love you too.
Yes.
Bye.
I know.